All right, let's get into reviewing some of what happened
Because they aren't done like the Cubs.
Let's get into reviewing what happened on
and make him a setup man.
Monday. There were 6 games in the National League, 3 games in the American League, excuse me. We'll start with the National League. The Cubs beat the Pirates 6-1. Carlos Silva is looking like one of the best pitchers in the National League, at least based on his record.
It's amazing.
And his earned run average. He improves to 8-0 as the first time a Cubs starter is 8-0 since 1967. Who anticipated this from Carlos Silva?
No, but Orestes Estrada brought up an interesting point that I never even thought about. Carlos Zambrano's best contribution to fantasy this season is to make something worthwhile out of Carlos Silva.
His struggles have allowed Silva to be dominant?
Yeah, apparently. No, well, they're buddies, so maybe he taught him a thing or two.
8 minutes.
What the heck was that just screaming in my ears?
That was our producer, Mike Friedman, telling us that we're doing a fantastic job. So Silva's 8-0. Is he a mixed league guy at this point? I mean, he hasn't been to this point.
Absolutely. He's been a mixed league guy for the past
Well,
month
his
and a
start
half.
percentage, though, hasn't been to that point.
Yeah, no, but he is now, and one of the things
very,
that held him
very
back,
afraid.
aside from just plain old ineffectiveness, was he was never a big strikeout pitcher, and he's on pace now to just obliterate his his best season strikeout total. And you said he's looking like one of the best pitchers in the majors, and actually the thing that he has been the very best at so far, a stat that I saw yesterday,
Is
he's
awesomeness.
leading the majors in not just awesomeness, EMAC, but in first pitch strikes.
Okay.
So he's getting ahead of batters more often than anybody, making them chase the ball out of the zone.
He's always been a strike thrower. Never had a problem with walks. He never hurt himself.
but
that way.
not pitching to contact as much this year.
He's
So
talking about his start percentage, 68%. It's pretty high.
Yeah, but it was in the 50s coming into this week with the 2-start week.
Well, it was because he got skipped last week. So this
well, and ownership rate though, he's still totally available in 1/5 of all leagues. Last time I looked,
81% right
So
now.
all right, so a few people picked him up yesterday. Shocking, but more people should pick him up.
He should be a.
He's on pace for 34 walks. That's a real low total.
Well, there was one season I think way back
This'll
with
be
the
the
Twins
first
where he walked
season-
9 guys the whole year.
Yeah, and that's a low total as well.
Uh,
But this will be the first year he doesn't give up more hits than innings if he continues the way he's
yeah,
going.
it's those strikeouts.
Ryan Theriot scores 4 runs in this game, but he's not the offensive star we want to talk about. We want to talk about
What
the
is
great.
Silva's BABIP, by the way?
We'll
Look that one up.
Yeah, don't know.
We'll get back to you.
we want to talk about the
You
great
don't have to know everybody.
Giovanni Soto.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got
I
some
told
email about
people
him,
to
too.
sit him, and then they.
You did it yourself, though. You followed your own advice. You
Yeah,
sat
and
Soto.
I never do it. I don't play stupid streaks with hitters. I just leave them on my lineup and let them go. And I fooled myself.
2 for 4
So mad
with
at
an
myself.
RBI for Mr. Soto. And you mentioned something about
Am I loud enough?
a
This
jinx?
thing is really far away from my mic.
Yes, I did, but it was the EMAC Soto jinx. But I think we just kind of went over that.
Yeah. He's got a worse jinx, though.
We'll get to that in
Yeah.
a little bit. Just
A witty one.
Just to touch on something for the Pirates, Dan
The
Evelyn
witty
loses
one.
his first start with Pittsburgh.
Who?
He has no strikeouts in 5 innings. Is he going to see the rotation again for them?
He'll stay in the rotation.
Yeah,
Carson's is
probably not for long. He's just not been very good wherever he goes. He had one pretty good year with the A's.
Yeah, they
but-
like him as a placeholder, so they don't have to go to another prospect, and they don't have to look at Brian Burris or Jeff Karstens anymore.
Moving on to the Rockies and the Astros. The Rockies win this game 5-1. Jason Hammel has 6 shutout innings. He's 3-1 since returning from the disabled list on May 15th. What do we like about Hammel?
This
well,
guy started him. I was
I
like, you have
did. I
guts.
took him as my 2-start guy of the week. I rotate them in and out in the podcast league. So trying to think who I'm facing this week. Mr. Bonifacio. So he probably looked at that this morning.
Yeah, he just
and
got called up to the
Yeah.
finals.
But
Don't laugh. That's not funny.
all right, gonna be serious here. So, but no, Hamel is got some seriously good command of the strike zone. So that's what we like about him. He has been hit hard, high line drive rates last year and early this year, but he seems to be rectifying that and looks good.
Pedro Feliz has a 9-game hitting streak for the Astros. He's hitting .438 over that span. Is he somebody that's, aside from NL-only leagues, can be used in mixed leagues while he's hitting like this?
Nah, I'd say no. He's pretty consistent, and any streak that he has like this is going to be short-lived, I think.
Yeah, it would take a longer streak, but if you happen to start him this week, you're going to get decent results because he's the guy, and short spells looks like a world beater. It's those streaky, like high strikeout, low walk rate guys. They just, some reason their quick twitch muscles just like get locked in and they can't do anything wrong.
Has Carlos Lee turned the corner a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Isn't that wonderful? So is Lance Berkman.
He's going to get traded, isn't he?
I think they'll all get traded. Carlos Lee will be a DH for the Angels. Berkman will be the DH for the Yankees. Oh, goodness. That's going to stink.
You're going to ruin my big team. The Dodgers beat the Cardinals 12-4. Carlos Monasterios again wins. He allowed 3 runs and 4 hits and 6+ innings with 3 walks and no strikeouts.
And this might be his last start.
You think so? Because of Padilla or because of Hager?
Because of Padilla. Hager, for some reason, I saw Elias put him back on the DL. Did he go back on the DL?
He did. Well, I'm pretty sure he did, and I know he had a setback in any event.
Yeah, he's a dummy.
So Padilla's going to replace
Monasterios.
Is he going to get his second start of this week or no?
I did not project that he would because they had previously decided that they would skip him wherever possible. That's a really good start, though. You printed the tiniest type ever.
It's funny because I printed this out and I asked Alex, I said, do you think EMAC's going to complain about this? Because I tried to get it in as few pages as possible.
I point out the obvious.
In any event.
I harp on it.
So if Soto is a jinx to EMAC, Blake DeWitt, I guess, is a jinx for Mr. Melchior?
Apparently, because I went on the internet yesterday and told everybody that he was absolutely no good for head-to-head, and then he goes out and shows off his extra base power.
Well, to be fair, you said because of lack of extra base power, and then he completely did something that he hasn't done all season. Now, when you said it, I agree with it because that's what the data told you.
Mm-hmm.
The data doesn't necessarily predict the future.
Well,
and if you looked at his historical data, he does have pop.
He does, but again, the comparison was him versus Barmes in that
context. He doesn't
have
as much pop as Barmes, but he does have pop.
He has moderate middle infield pop.
To me, he's a 15-homer guy, and he's got 0 homers. So here on out, 15 homers is quite a bit in 4 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, and even if you put him on that pace, he still could go for 10 homers.
No, I'm saying 15 homers here on out.
Oh, well,
for full season, he'll hit 15 bombs.
I don't even think he's gonna get 10, but we'll see.
We've got a bet, and we're shaking on it.
Nice, very nice. Blake
so
Hawksworth.
I get anything over 10 though. I get 10 and over, which is really good for me.
Blake Hawksworth
only got 8 more to get.
Struggles in his first major league start after 48 career relief appearances. Is he somebody that has any lifespan for the Cardinals?
I thought maybe he could. That wasn't a great outing though by him. I liked him as a prospect coming up. I thought he'd be a viable major league starter, but he's been stuck in long relief and hasn't really gotten out of there. He had his opportunity here, and he completely wet the bed.
Moving on to the Diamondbacks and the Braves, Dan Herron gets his first victory in his last 4 starts. He scattered 9 hits and walked 2, and he allowed 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings. He's struggling a little bit.
He is. Well, he had a really nice start the last time out, but yeah, this is a bit of a regression back to where he was before. So, and it's interesting too because we got some email about him and why is he struggling? And he is experimenting with the cutter, which worked really well for Scott Feldman last year, but it's not really working well for Feldman either now, as we're going to see in his start. So I'm not sure if it's just
Foldman.
Foldman, that's good. It's funny, and so I don't know if it's just batters making adjustments or them working out kinks, but something is definitely not quite right with Herron this season.
I was surprised to see when I looked at the top of the National League batting average list that Martin Prado was there.
Why were you surprised?
Yeah, we've been sort of talking about this a lot this season.
You apparently haven't been listening to our podcast.
He has 3 strikeouts when he's leading the NL last night.
Yeah, that's not his MO.
Mm-hmm.
So no, good contact hitter, good line drive hitter, and
can he keep it up?
He absolutely can keep it up.
He's a slap hitting 300 hitter.
Anything else from this game?
He's like Freddie Sanchez. And Freddie Sanchez has been hot too.
He has, although that's been more smoke and mirrors with Sanchez.
High BABIP?
Yeah, very high BABIP. Extremely high BABIP.
Wait, right?
You got it. You know the drill. and more strikeouts too.
It's like somebody saying 27-year-olds. The Giants beat the Reds 6-5. Juan Uribe is somebody I know, EMAC, that you've started to like a little bit, correct?
Oh, I've liked him for a while because he can go on these streaks and he's versatile. And in those leagues, like in the Tout Wars, where you have a restricted amount of transactions and roster space, he is an incredibly valuable player because of the versatility he provides around the diamond. And this is the first time I saw this on Twitter. I loaded Twitter on my BlackBerry last night, and it's so cool now. I can get so many things so quickly. It's awesome. But the thing I got from that was stats. Well, the thing I got from that stats thing was this is the first time in Juan Uribe's career that he had 4 RBI or more and did not hit a homer.
Interesting.
He's not a guy that strings a lot of multi-hit games together. That's probably why.
Al Barry Zito is winless since May 16th. He gave up 8 hits and 3 walks. Is the Barry Zito good? Is the good Barry Zito done? Is the bad Barry
No,
Zito
he was
done?
coming off a good start, though.
Great Barry Zito is done. We're back to good Barry Zito.
Wow, one
which we
start.
saw.
You jumped off the bandwagon.
No, not one start, but more like I think 4 or 5 if you look at it.
All right, I'm gonna
Go look at it. So it seems like he's
He was great last time.
on a bit of a schneid. I'm not down on Zito at all. All right, maybe a little bit.
Sounded like you just were.
Well, no, but I mean, saying great to good, I'm just saying this is not a guy who was going to continue to post an ERA around 2 or sub 2 like he had in the early going. But he improved a lot last year, got back to the old Zito, and I think he's going to stay there, meaning, a guy who's maybe got, mid-3s ERA when all is said and done.
Isn't he one of those guys that are better
If he
in the
stays
second
in the
half,
mid-3s,
than
that's
the first
pretty
half?
I'm not sure about those splits, to be honest, and I don't really put a lot of stock in them either, especially with pitchers.
The other side of the diamond, Johnny Cueto gave up 4 runs and 10 hits in 6 innings. His catcher, Ramon Hernandez, says he was missing his spots, and this is now 2 bad starts in a row for Cueto. I know on Sunday, Emac, you said
Yeah, I was thinking.
you liked him this week, but
He left the game with the lead, I believe, and the bullpen blew it for him.
still gave up 4 runs and 10 hits, though.
Now, was the bullpen responsible for inherited runners scored? Did we look at this? No, we didn't. I will look that up.
He did leave with the lead.
I don't know. I don't know where we are.
But is Cueto struggling at this point? In
2 starts. Frustrated the heck out of you because you wanted to get 2 good ones out of him this week. That was frustrating. But I'm not going to give up on a power arm like that goes on these rolls where he looks like the best pitcher in baseball at times. He's thrown a 1-hitter this year.
Moving on to the Padres and the Phillies, Cole Hamels loses a no-hitter in the 7th inning because of 2 bombs from Adrian Gonzalez. Hamels is now lost his 3rd in a row, and he gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in 8 innings. I know he's still going to be fine, but this Phillies offense is really struggling. Chase Utley started out the season hitting .339 with 6 home runs and 14 RBI in his first 15 games. Since then, .229, 4 homers, and 11 RBI. When is he going to snap out of this? When are the Phillies offense going to snap out of this?
Well, little by little they are. The rest of the lineup is starting to come around, but this is so un-Utley-like. It's just got to be a matter of time unless, there's some, injury or something, which I haven't seen any report.
Well, he hit pretty good with a hip problem last year.
That's a very good point. So this is, you're right, it's just very uncharacteristic for him. And I got to think it's just, any day, any week, they could come out of this.
Would you have ever thought that Wade LeBlanc would tame the Phillies offense in their own ballpark?
I actually would.
No.
I'm one of the few people, I think it's maybe a little exaggeration, but a lot of people are dumping him right now, and he's had a rough stretch. But I think that's a mistake. And in fact, if you read my column, which should be going up any time now,
Really?
that's pretty much exactly what I say.
He's not a lucky pitcher.
No, he's not. He's not. So I think he's going to be
Wow.
coming back over the next few weeks.
Who'da
He should be
thunk?
fine.